Hi everyone, I'm Cody, I'm neurodivergent, and I have chronic something with my joints. We're still gonna figure that out, but today I am gonna tell you a story time that happened about a year ago. I'm curious how this one will go, because every time I tried to film it so far, I ended up having a meltdown. If you see me looking like this, I have a list of a few words to help me keep being on the same track in talking, or at least I hope it'll help, as otherwise my head will go. Also, excuse me, I am still a little bit sick, so apologies if you notice that in my voice. So, the day of the event, I was already stressing out. I was stressing out because one, I didn't know how many people were gonna be there, what the location was gonna be like, what the sound will be like. So a whole lot of things. I was already basically overwhelmed before I even left my house. So I was cuddling with my cat before we left. She was still getting used to it, and she used to living here, and she's never really learned how to sign to people when she doesn't want things anymore, or at least not signs that we humans pick up on as easily. So my day already started with getting hit by my cat, which my fault. I take full responsibility for that. But I had bruised knuckles. I had bruised knuckles. That hurt like shit. Also, it was quite a lot blood at first, but that doesn't really matter anyway. So me and my dad left at the event. To the event with my bruised knuckle. So at the event, it's important to mention that we were gonna do like a kind of Dutch sport. I'm not sure what it's called in English, and I kind of forgot what it's called in Dutch too. But you basically have these balls that you need to push with a stick, and those are about 5 kilos ish. That would be about 2.5 pounds, about 2.5, I think. So with my bad joints, I already knew I could not do that, because if I would try, I would have a cast around my wrist once again for a few months. Anyway, so we arrive at the location. So there's already one strike before I left. So there's strike number 2. There's way more people than I thought were originally coming. Strike number 3, and I hope I pronounced that right. The man that was supposed to give us the key to let us in, or at least let us in, arrived too late at the location. Strike number 4. We walk in to that room, and there's another room, because there was first a cafe, and now we go to another room. Did not expect that. Small thing triggers a lot for me personally as an autistic person. Strike number 5. We enter the room. The smell of that room hits me in my face. I'm not kidding you, it felt like I was being punched in the face by the smell of that room. And then we have, you name it, you can count, strike number 6. We all walk into that room. I sit at the table in a corner. Why I hit me in the face? You'll hear it. As everybody walked in the room, I was in the corner table feeling stuck. I was feeling stuck because there were a lot of people there, and if I can touch you or you can touch me, if I pull my arm away from me, you're too close to me. So basically that was strike number 6. So strike number 7. I don't know what that was. Strike number 7. As everyone is walking into the room, the sound. Oh my god, the sound. It is, I'm not kidding, so echoey thing. Everyone's talking. It is, you have loud, but you have like busy, crowded, loud, like in a, I don't know, a restaurant, but then worse. That's what that sounded like. So that was strike number 7. So we are already at 7 strikes. I was already so overwhelmed. I was basically done for the day. But we had just arrived. So we cannot go immediately, especially now if there's a whole crowd out there that I feel like I cannot walk across because there's this invisible force. I mean, not actual invisible force, but like it feels like a wall pushes me down in my chair. I cannot leave. But of course, it's an event, so we gotta socialize. Yay! I had talked to, at the top of my head, like 2, 3, maybe 4 people that I know of for at least a few minutes, which for me is a ton, because usually at parties I don't talk to anyone. Then at one point, my uncle came up to me as if the game that they were doing was something for me. I said no, it's a yes or no question, right? Autistic person. I'm just gonna give you a really direct answer. So you ask me, is it something for me? I say no. You wanna know more? Ask me more, and I'll answer. But this was a yes or no question. You didn't ask any more questions, so no, I left it at that. Then after I had socialized, I went into a shutdown. I could not mask anymore. I was into a shutdown. Or was. I got into a shutdown. So when I arrived home from the night from the 25th to the 26th, which is the night the messages came from, who guessed it, the uncle that asked me if that game was something for me. Now I'm gonna try to describe the messages because I don't have them on my phone anymore and it's been like a year ago, so I don't know exactly, but I know it briefly, so here it goes. He texted me saying I did not show any interest, that it felt like I didn't want to be there at all, which by the way wasn't true, because if I didn't want to go, I wouldn't have gone. He told me that I didn't talk to anyone. By the way, I didn't see his kids talking to a lot of people either. I know you follow me. Hi, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at your dad. I'm sorry. And he made a whole lot of other accusations. Then he went that if I was gonna keep acting like I did that day, I was, according to him, not welcome anymore at any other family gatherings or events or whatever. He deleted that last part, by the way. But me being fucking pissed off as I already was, I replied to that deleted message. Because fuck that. So I said, well, then it's a good thing that I am not there for you to begin with. Then he got all mad and said that he heard more from me in this whole conversation and yesterday and the whole evening, blah blah blah. And I said that instead of shooting accusations at me, he could have put me apart. He could have asked me why I was acting that way, and I would have replied and explained with a lot of love and patience. But of course he ignored that. So I said, he went off and off. So I said, if I don't talk a lot to you, maybe look at yourself first before you look at me. Because that says a lot more about you than it says about me. The next day, the 26th, in the afternoon, I think, or was it still at the night? I don't know anymore. I went to my dad crying out of anger, which happens a lot, but also not that much. I don't really know how to explain, but I went crying to my dad out of anger to my uncle. So after I explained everything to my dad, he went and called my uncle. Then they had a whole argument My uncle claiming he was worried about me. Well, I'm sorry, but if I'm worried about someone that is dissociating themselves, I am not gonna text them, shoot accusations, and then disinviting them to events because I am worried about them. Or is that just me? So then my uncle went comparing me to my nieces. And that is when my dad blew up. According to my uncle, both my nieces were very social. I haven't seen them talk to a lot of people either. Probably less people than I have already talked to, but that to the side. He went to compare me to my nieces. My dad did not like that. Because you see, my dad went. He said something along the lines of, your daughters aren't autistic. My kid is autistic. Then my uncle went, you cannot blame or shoot everything on autism. Now hold on a moment. I completely agree that autism is not an excuse to be an absolute dick. However, I hope we all know what the word disorder means. Autism is a neurodevelopment disorder. It impacts how you process things, how you act in social situations, everything. Now, a lot of people with autism, well, actually everyone, in one way or another, has heightened senses, whether it's sound, light, touch, all of the above, other things, communication, whatever it is that you find hard. It's autism. It's your brain, okay? I lack compatibility in that, okay? I'm not good at that. Because guess what? Autism disables me every single day, 24/7. I have pretty high support needs, okay? I can barely do anything on my own. So that is cleared up a little bit. Back to the story. So he said that autism wasn't an excuse in that situation. What I don't understand is how. It was social. I was overwhelmed by everything around me, literally already from before I left my house. Yet I masked for your own comfort because it is destroying me completely. And I talked to like 3 or 4 people, which is a lot for me. Then the cause of all that caused me to go into a shutdown, a complete shutdown. I wasn't talking anymore to anyone or anything whatsoever. And yes, I can blame that on my autism because it was my autism. You cannot compare neurotypical brains to neurodivergent brains. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So this once again proved to me that no matter how much I mask, no matter how much I try to fit in my neurotypical family, I am never going to fit in. Because guess what? I'm not one of them. So, you know what? From now on, you will see me without a mask one day. And you will see exactly how much I struggled. Just like that day. Because I am so sorry that me struggling, suffering in that moment more actually, is an inconvenience to you. My apologies. He had said to my dad that he wanted to talk to me about it later on, but I told him that he could try, but I have blocked him everywhere. And I would not be talking to him in private also. Not even if he would pull me apart from family events. Because if it was the first time he had done something like this, I would have tried to make a conversation. But this is not the first time he's done this, or something like this. Therefore, he is also the reason, just in case one of my family is watching that I do like, he is also the reason that I'm not showing up anymore. Because if he actually wanted to learn about me being neurodiverse, he would have been more open-minded about it. and he would have listened the first time my dad tried to talk to him. Now I do hope I have covered everything in this story time. I am still not on speaking terms with him and a lot of other family members, because what had hurt me the most is that there are other family members that went to my uncle to ask him what was wrong with me. If you are too scared to ask me personally, go to my dad. He still doesn't know everything, but he knows most. Or at least more than a lot of other family members do. But of course, if family is watching this that I do like, and you have actual concerns about this or about me, text me. Or DM me on Instagram, I don't know. Contact me. Ask me. And I will answer. I'm not that difficult. I'm not gonna be hard on you because you want to learn how my brain works. Because guess what? We're gonna figure it out together. Because I've been masking for so long. I don't even know who I am without my mask anymore. And I did all that in an attempt to fit in. And all that is destroying my mental health. Which is why I'm no longer masking when I'm on my own. And hopefully one day I'm not gonna mask in public anymore either, because I think it's time to turn tables. I've been uncomfortable long enough. If meeting my needs and my accommodations is uncomfortable for you, well, sucks to be you. Neurotypicals are made to have it easier to adjust. Why am I the only one adjusting, or at least attempting to adjust to you, when no one is really trying to adjust to me? So I hope I have covered everything in this story time right now. Sorry for the plenty of cuts, but I was close to a meltdown quite a couple times because I was so overwhelmed by my own emotions at the moment. Even still a year later, I cannot process it. So if you found this interesting, let me know and I'll see if I can think of more story times that has happened to me. And if you'd like, join me on my journey to figuring out who I am without that mask on, figuring out my needs, figuring out my accommodations, and figure out who I am. Which also includes figuring out all my support needs, which seem to get more and more, but it only seems to get more and more because I'm allowing my body to finally communicate to my head how things are really affecting me instead of suppressing it like I did all my life. I hope you like this, and I hope to see you another time. And please, please take care of yourself. Be nice to yourself. And I hope till next time. Bye.